buy all the property you can and then refinance it in 15 years from now and then call us and say thank you.
Yeah.
No, seriously, man.
No, not wrong.
And it sounds so
You are
aggressive
not
and
wrong.
a realtor telling you to buy, but real estate is a long game. And if you can get in and you can ride this out for the next 15, 20 years while you're paying down your mortgage at the same time, man, like that will be how we look at the boomers now. In 15 years from now, our kids will say, hey, you bought your house for $500,000 and now it's worth 1.5. Like, what the hell?
Welcome to the Ottawa Property Podcast with your hosts, Tony McNeil and Adolfo ALVARENGA. Each week, they'll take a look at what's happening in the Ottawa real estate market and offer practical advice and insights for listeners. From market updates to success stories, they cover it all. Whether you're a first-time homebuyer, a seasoned investor, or just curious about the property landscape in Canada's capital, they've got you covered. Sit back, get comfortable, and let's get into it.
Welcome back to another episode of the Ottawa Property Podcast. My name is Tony McNeil. I am a realtor based here in Ottawa, Canada, joined always by my co-host, Adolfo ALVARENGA, level 2 mortgage agent with referral mortgages. Every week, we dive into a different topic, kind of what we're seeing in our local market here in Ottawa, a couple of side quests that we'll go on and talk about from time to time, market stats, all that good stuff. If you are listening on the audio platforms, Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube, that's where you'll find us. That's where you found us, apparently, if you're listening. But if you are listening, please give us a like, share it, comment, follow, whatever. And if you find the information interesting, if you want to book a call with either Adolfo or myself, you'll find links to our calendars in the Calendly link below. All that being said, Adolfo, what's up, man?
How's it going?
Living the
Happy
dream.
Friday.
Happy Friday, man.
Canada Day. Yeah, coming around.
Yeah, shit, you're right. Yeah, I hate how it's on a Tuesday.
The question there lies is like, do you take the Monday off?
I
like
can't. I've already just
I
booked a bunch of showings for Monday.
But I'm just saying in general, people like, do they book Monday off or call in sick Monday? And it's
I
like
would.
an extra long weekend.
If I was like a 9 to 5er,
Yeah.
I'd take that day off.
Why not make it a 4-day weekend?
That's what I mean, right?
Yeah.
It's a good reason to do it. The team has like a Canada Day booth set up in the market this year.
Okay.
It'll be interesting. I'm gonna set it up because we know with having Sophie and Louisa off that day, I was like, I'd really like to do some Canada Day stuff with them. So I volunteered to do the first shift, the early shift, ride my bike in, because they're like, you want to take the stuff and set it up in your car? I'm like, no. I'm not driving into the market on Canada Day. What are you, crazy?
You're biking into the market.
Yeah, I was like, you guys can drop the stuff off. I will set it up, but I'm not like.
That's good. Where are you guys keeping the booth?
So it's where is it? Not the best to describe it. It's very close to.
Good thing you're biking there.
Pardon me?
Good thing you're biking there.
Well, that's what I mean, right? Like I saw the street closures for Wellington and Spark and all that stuff. Like you can't really get anywhere near Parliament. But the market doesn't have any street closures. But I'm going to go ahead and assume it's going to be maggoty with tourists and locals.
Like it obviously depends on what time you're arriving for all that stuff. But yes.
Well, what time are you getting out of there? It's like I was like, hey, I could drive in, but then when I go to leave at 11 o'clock in the morning or 11:30, 12, whatever it'll be, is it going to take me an hour to get home?
Yeah.
I don't want to do it.
And you're like 10 minutes away.
That's the thing. I can ride my bike and I'm home in probably 15 minutes.
Take out the bus reader. Make sure the tires are bobbed. Make sure everything.
Then I'll ride Luis's new bike.
Oh, there you go.
It'd be a better idea.
That probably is a better idea.
It's a bit too small for me, but I'll make it work. I'm not ashamed. No, but it'll be good. We're going to set up a booth. We're selling like Good Story T-shirts.
Nice.
There's a chance to win $500 for anyone who signs up. A photo booth. Just kind of giving back, I guess.
Nice.
Being part
That's
of the
amazing.
celebration.
That'll be fun. That'll be a good time.
Yeah.
I don't remember the last time I went to the market for Canada Day. So
I never have.
Well, you are not from here, so
this is true. But I have spent many Canada Days here, like either while I was dating Louisa or before when I was kind of training for my other job here. I remember Parliament fireworks. This is long before Sophie was born, when there was no obligations to be home before dark. But it's cool. I think I heard this year that they're even doing like a Canada Day event at the stage where they're setting up for Blues Fest. So
oh, really?
Going on there.
That'd be fun. I saw they were setting up, but I thought it was already for Blues Fest at that point.
I assume so. I think they're kind of piggybacking on it.
Okay.
And I saw that the pedestrian bridge that connects Gatineau to Ottawa is closed from like 8 p.m. to 2 a.m. or
That's because
something.
of the fireworks.
I know, so they're gonna
Mhm.
launch the fireworks from there. It's gonna be pretty sweet.
They did that. Was it last year? I think they did that last.
They don't
year.
launch them right behind
No,
Parliament
no.
anymore. I've seen them there, man. They were spectacular. It's really cool.
Oh, I mean, but like it's crazy. The view from the Museum of Civilization is probably my favorite view of the city.
Okay.
To an extent, like I always bike down that path. That's like my favorite bike path,
Right.
and it's like you just get Parliament and all the older classic,
Right.
like castle-looking
Yeah, I can see that.
on the background.
Yeah.
Like take that path hopefully tomorrow if you in Canada Day if you want when you're going to the market.
I'll keep
It's
that in
actually
mind,
very
yeah.
nice.
I'd like to go check out that new kind of walkway that's opened up behind the
The
National Gallery.
Mhm.
I bet
Yeah,
you
yeah.
that would be a cool place to watch the fireworks. You get a bit of the hills and you'd have the museums and obviously
actually,
Parliament there.
That would definitely. I haven't
So
seen
anyway,
it, but
Canada Day
anyways,
weekend.
Canada Day weekend.
It's gonna be a fun one, man. Yeah. So this week we're gonna talk about sellers.
We're
Sellers
diving
selling
in.
in a
'Kay.
buyer's market.
Sellers selling in a buyer's market. Let's
Say that 5 times fast,
Sellers
yeah.
selling in a buyer's market. Sellers selling in a buyer's market.
I think it's very relevant.
'Kay.
I'm seeing it a lot on both ends with a listing that we had that, unfortunately is coming down this weekend. And with all the buyers that we have been working with
Mhm.
and booking showings and how to make your property show its best. And like, we don't have a ton of inventory. It's probably around like 2.5 to 3 months.
Okay.
In a lot of markets, that'd be considered a seller's market. But what I've seen, which is kind of like counterintuitive to what I just said, is that there's stuff that lingers around and
Mhm.
lingers for a while, and it kind of keeps that inventory static. The new stuff that comes on gets absorbed pretty quickly.
So why is that?
So why
For
is that?
for our listeners, why is that?
Well-
Because I find, and this is my side, obviously it's different to your side of the world. We keep hearing a lot of the times it's a buyer's market,
Sure.
and depending on the agent that we talk to, they're like, no, it's still a seller's market.
It depends on
So-
it depends on the house. That's the first thing.
We still see offers come in
Yep.
with multiple offers.
Sure.
We see clients losing offers. We see over asking.
Mhm.
Like it's still moving in that capacity.
Yeah.
So I feel like we sound like a broken record because almost every time we keep talking about like, okay, if it's priced well,
It will sell.
it will sell.
Yeah. But I think that's like the number one rule of thumb. Yes, obviously price is king.
Mm.
But it also, and that goes for like buyer, seller's market, whatever, right? Like the price has to make sense to the person who's purchasing it. When it comes down to buyer's market versus seller's market within our city, there's pockets everywhere, and the product type within those pockets kind of dictates whether it's a buyer's or a seller's market. So let's take, for example, Orleans. If you look at it, the MLS listings today for detached or townhomes in, say, Avalon, basically anywhere in Orleans, really, there's a lot of properties for sale. Like I'm talking like there's probably anywhere from 40 to 50 of each property type available right now.
Are you talking resale or
Yeah,
new construction?
Resale.
Okay.
But I see a lot of builders listing their properties on MLS now too, right?
Yeah,
So that's Minto especially is big for that. Richcraft not so much. Mattamy not so much.
Okay.
But you see a lot of Minto homes on MLS. When it comes down to the buyers that are shopping in those markets, like they have so many options to choose from. Like most recently, clients of mine actually purchased a lovely townhome from Minto, directly from Minto. It was listed on MLS. But when we were going out to see these properties, we set up a search. We comb through the listings. I mean, there's so many, man. There's so many. So it's almost overwhelming.
It can be at that point.
Yeah. Well, it's like if I have that many options to choose from, how do I pick the top 10? So what I always say is like we have a rolling top 5 going. So these are say there's 50 listings. I'm going to send you 50 listings. Go through them all, honestly. And I'll go through them as well. And I'll give you my top 5 and you give me your top 5. And let's compare notes.
Let's see if we're in line.
Yeah. And overlappers that we both have on our list, we'll absolutely go see. And then we'll chat about the other ones to get a kind of a top 5. I think 5 houses for me personally is the most I'd like to see with clients in one go. Any more than 5 tends to be very overwhelming. You forget the first property. By the time you get to the last property, you don't remember what you saw on the first one.
Yeah, and I agree with that. Yeah.
So it kind of goes back to what we were chatting to off mic, is that you have a little bit of like analysis paralysis. There is oh my gosh, what just happened there? I'm gonna figure out how to turn that off. Anyone watching? You saw the fireworks just now? That is wild.
Was it actually like on the video recording?
Must
I
have been
wonder if
something
it's
I
just your
said, or
computer
maybe
at
my
some
hand
point.
gestures or something. Like I think someone was telling me I had I had a video call with a new client this week, and he had done like a thumbs up or
And
something,
the
it
little
made
thumbs up came up.
Yeah, and I'm like, oh, I didn't really say it. I'm like, oh, I gotta put this towards the podcast, but they almost have like analysis paralysis. So
Mhm.
you have so many options. You say like, oh, what if something new comes up next week?
What if something better comes up?
Exactly.
And that's always the thinking of like, what if something better comes
What
up?
if something better comes
What if
up?
I'm missing out on the next one?
Yep.
That's, you know.
Yep. So that way, I think you have a lot of people that are trying to sell, like you say, again, in that pocket of Orleans. And even there's definitely buyers out there because we see sales are getting done. I mean, it just depends. So what do you have to do to make your house appealing so that if you do book if someone books a showing on your property, yours stands out amongst the rest?
So that's difficult as a seller. Okay. And I'm going to put myself in the seller's shoes.
Go for it.
If I have that much competition around me,
Yes.
how do I stand out? Like, because like, don't get me wrong, I just saw a listing of somebody sent me that they're interested in going to see a client. It's been 21 hours that it's been there, and she's already considering putting an over asking offer. So
And in Orleans? Is that
not
what
in
you're saying?
Orleans,
Okay.
like in a
sorry.
completely different pocket.
Okay,
So I'm
sorry,
kind of diverting a bit. But it's interesting because the listing agent put pictures, and a lot of the pictures are not really well staged.
Okay.
So I'm like thinking, I really like this. This will sell quickly just because of the price point and the location of where it's at. Like it's in the Glebe 675 row house, something like that.
I
think
saw
it is.
that one, like Patterson or
Patterson.
something?
Yeah. So I'm like, wait, like, how do you make it send out? Like, is it like obviously that one is a completely different, but like let's say if this house was in Orleans,
Sure.
same listing and stuff like that, and not to criticize the listing agent, but I see the detail that some agents bring into the table of when
Mhm.
they're listing properties, and some of them that don't necessarily align in
Yeah.
that same. And everybody's different. I'm not gonna tell anybody how to run their business, but it's just like
Should.
yeah, let's criticize it. Let's dissect it fully.
Yeah. Break it
But
down.
it's like, okay, like I see some of them that are like staged incredibly, like magazine worthy. You know, you gotta keep it as a seller. You gotta keep it as tidy as
It's
you
tough,
can,
man.
as much as you can. And I saw this with clients because they were selling their place, and it's in Findlay Quick, which is another pocket that's like, it seems like there's a lot of supply
Yep,
at this moment,
sure.
right? So they had to and they have a little one, so they had to literally keep it immaculate as much as they could, and to the point that he's like, I'm just so tired of having to just keep it like this and keep it clean.
No one
They
lives
took-
like that, right? Especially with
Not all the
kids.
time. Not all the time. There's always a mess at some point. And
Yeah.
knowing, okay, and this is the other thing too, and you can elaborate more on this, but it's also know your time, right? Like when are the showings happening?
Yep.
You have to revolve your life around some things.
Unfortunately, yes, you do.
Mhm.
And I'll go back to your first point about, photos need to look great, right? They absolutely do. They're going to attract people to the listing. I see it all the time, man. Properties that I get over 30, 40 days, 50, 60, 70 days on market, and they have like cell phone camera shots. Like we should not be doing that.
Anymore.
Even if you go with a discount brokerage, man, like it should be mandatory that professional photography is included, because 9 times out of 10, a lot of people will skip over those photos or that listing
totally.
altogether, right? Because it just doesn't look good. Real estate photographers, I mean, they get paid very well to do what they do to make a property look good, and sometimes it's like putting lipstick on a pig. But if it gets people through the door, like you're not going to sell your house unless someone comes to view it.
Yeah.
You're
And
not going to sell your house from photos on the internet. You need to get people through the door.
And the thing with that too is like if you get people through the door, it might not be for everybody. Like you said, that pig
Yeah,
might
for
not
sure.
necessarily be for everybody.
Yep.
But there will be somebody that be like, will see past,
100%.
could see past what's wrong with it, and just be like, you know what, I can take this and I can flip it around.
It's inevitably like a numbers game.
Correct.
Right?
If
And
it
if you
makes
don't
sense.
get people through the door, there's a couple of reasons why you're not getting people through the door and you're not inevitably selling. And yes, listing needs to look good. Price obviously needs to be like top of mind here. If you're working with an agent, your agent should be looking at all the listings you have. So, and not to pick on Orleans, because it's not just Orleans that we're seeing this. Like if you're a condo in the market, you've been seeing a lot of the detached and condo stuff in Barhaven sitting around a little bit longer than usual now too.
Mm-hmm.
So look at what's something that's listed is fine. That is your competition, but you can't base your price on your competition without first looking at the souls.
Mm-hmm.
So if the sold data is the king, if something is exactly like yours and it sold last month for, 400,000, what makes you think you can get 460 for it?
Mm-hmm.
Even if the competition's listed at 480 and you're trying to undercut them, you're still too high.
Mm-hmm.
Any good buyer agent is going to look at the comparables and they're going to say, hey, well, the neighbor sold for 400. I mean, you might have a little bit of a nicer kind of finishes and features somewhere throughout the house, maybe, but 60K, I mean, come on. So it's a harsh reality. And we've talked about it before. Like, how do we move the needle towards buyers and sellers making a deal? Like, if interest rates don't come down substantially in order for buyers to be able to afford more, then sellers have to come to the reality that their house is not worth what they thought it was.
Yeah, that could be a harsh reality to get through, get around. Like
100%.
Especially depending on when you bought the property and why you're selling.
Absolutely.
Like, it could definitely be a very difficult time.
Well, and that's it, right? I mean, and if you're seriously motivated and you have to sell your home, and you're not just testing the market to see what happens. It's kind of like, hey, I'll put it up at this price. If someone gives me an offer, like, I can't refuse it.
Mm-hmm.
That's not going to sell homes in this. So your house is going to be sitting for 200, 400 days. I guarantee it.
Yeah.
So you need to look at the comparable sold properties and strategically base your pricing on that. Either at that exact price, maybe slightly above, maybe slightly below, depending on what it is, right? That's the first and foremost thing. One thing that I've noticed too in booking showings for buyers in these pockets that are really heavily buyer market favorited is that sellers don't even want to let us book showings for the times that we want to go through.
Okay.
So like, again, it's like, I'm telling you right now, it sounds a little silly, but if you're a buyer and you're like, hey, I've got time on Saturday afternoon or Thursday evening or whatever it is to go out and book showings with your realtor and go to the 5 homes you have listed on your list to see, and a seller says like, no, can you do Sunday morning instead? I swear this is true. Buyers will look at it and be like, I'll forget it. I don't want to see that one. Just put this one in instead. But it's crazy, but it's true.
But it's crazy coming from both sides, right? Because it's like from the buyer side, because you have so much availability, you're like, you know what? Okay, this one doesn't work.
They're not serious about selling. I don't want to see their stuff.
I'm just going to change my But it could not even be the fact that they're not serious about selling. Maybe they have a commitment or something at the house.
It could be a million things.
It could be so many things. But the fact that because there's so much availability, that they have the capacity to just say like, you know what? Okay, let's switch it off for something else.
Yeah.
Whereas in the market that we were like a few years back,
you're fighting to get in there, man.
Exactly. Sometimes there were offers without even saying anything. So it's crazy how things have shifted. Like, and in certain pockets, like you said, depending on the pockets that you are, I think that it has shifted into a buyer's market that it is a seller's. But then as a seller, it's like you have to sacrifice your time while the property is listed in some way.
Absolutely.
To some capacity. Like, I know it's hard, and it's hard pill to swallow, but if you really want to sell your house and you don't want it sitting there, you kind of have to be like, okay, this is the time they want to come see it. Well, we'll leave for half an hour.
It sucks, man. I get it. Like, selling houses when you're the seller and you have to be out for showings and people are coming and going when they feel like it. It sucks. Like, I don't want to discount that. I get it. But you have to be like at least 99% flexible on this stuff.
Yeah.
Unless you have a commitment that you really can't move. And my always recommendation is going to be to try to accommodate.
Yeah, and it's especially as you're selling, it's hard, and it's hard because it's timing. When are people going to be available? Like, usually people work 9 to 5. So when do they go to see houses? In the evenings, work days, or on the weekends? So it's like you kind of have to make sense of that. Of like, okay, when can you let people come in to that, and how flexible can you be for that?
Yeah, I've seen the opposite too, where it's like, hey, we work from home and we don't want any showings during the day, and then you have buyers want to see it during the day, and it's like, no, can you come see it in the evening? And they'll straight up be like, no, forget it, we don't want to come.
Wow.
I wish I was lying or
fibbing, no, I believe you. I believe
like, it is what it is. It's a wild world. It's a wild market in those circumstances. So, we talked about price. It's got to be enough to attract people. People have to see the photos and the price online. They got to say, okay, I can see serious value here.
Mm-hmm.
I want to go see this property. If you're priced, if you're missing the mark by sometimes even as low as 20,000, people will be like, no, it's too high. And they won't realize that perhaps they can negotiate with you to get it down, or to get to a place where you both feel comfortable making a deal happen, is a better way to put it. So if you're not like on the mark, people just skip it and go to the next one.
So let me see on that and add to that.
Yeah.
if I'm a buyer, and let's say as a seller, you're basically putting the price. We'll use your example of 400. That it sold for 400, but you
Sure.
want to put it at 450, just so that there's room for negotiation at that point. But then that extra 50K could just basically like
Not
completely
interesting.
removed you.
Yeah.
Wow.
100%.
Interesting.
Especially when you got to remember now, there's 40 other listings out there too. So you're not the only two at 400 and 450. There's probably like, 15 to 20 in the middle there. So like people are going to say, hey, well, when I save money, we're in an economic climate where bottom line really matters to a lot of families.
Yep.
I'm not
That's important.
Yeah, I don't want to go to 450. I'm only willing to spend 430, so I'm going to start at the ones that are 430 and try to knock them down. So you're not within the ballpark, man. If you're way outside sitting on the bleachers somewhere, like people will legitimately just skip over it.
That's
So
crazy.
like, pricing, obviously, it's king. Getting the photos professionally done is another thing. We want people to see the listing. We want people to come. We want it to be their top choice. Accessibility to the listing, obviously, incredibly important. Open houses are great. We want people to be able to come. I do find a lot of the time these days, I'm not seeing a lot of like serious interest from open houses unless it's a real estate agent sending their client through because they're busy or whatever.
You don't think there's a lot of people just coming just to walk and then just be curious?
Yeah, the neighbors come and like neighbors are great and stuff, but like a neighbor's not going to tell you that your price is too high because
they don't really know.
Well, they don't really know, and they don't mind to hear that the neighbor's house is trying to sell for this because like, ooh, that's good for me, right?
Yeah, it means my place is worth around there. Oh, and then they come in and see the finishes, like, oh, I think we get more for us.
Yeah,
ours and stuff. Yeah,
100%. So I think what I've noticed in those pockets, and it's especially bizarre because it's not something that we've seen in a few years, is that like if I could take a buyer through 10 houses in Orleans over 2 days, like 8 of those agents are going to call me for feedback.
Wow.
Which is it's bizarre. It's bizarre.
Times
I
have
love it
shifted.
because I'm a big fan of feedback. I chase for feedback too.
But you also feel like, oh, hey, I have the power.
Well, I mean, a little bit, yeah, but it's just they want to know because like they might be in that position where their sellers are a bit unrealistic with their price, so to hear it from another agent, like need to have that opinion and data to back that up, right?
And I feel that those are hard conversations for agents right now to be having, because it's like you're trying to educate your clients into where the market's currently at, and a lot of the times we're kind of close-minded. Sellers could be close-minded to what they've seen historically happen, and they're like, well, my neighbor got that, so why can't I get that?
Yeah.
And it's just the realistic that, and it's a tough lesson of like, it just depends where in the market, when in the market is. And I know we always say like you can't really time the market, but the reality is at selling point, things can shift very quickly.
Yeah.
And always, even on buyers, like who knows, July comes with a rate cut and everything else stabilizes, and boom, all those 8 like buyers that are pre-approved that are looking for it could just be like, okay, turn things on. Gates open.
Absolutely. I mean, that'd be interesting to see. I was kind of reading about like the no man's land of the interest rate right now. We're at 2.75, whereas like it's not really inflicting any economic drive until it reaches sub 2, and it's not really bringing down inflation until it's not affecting inflation until it's like above 3.25 or something. So in the range, it's kind of like that safe space for it. So I don't know if we'll see any kind of big economic drive in pricing until that goes down. I'm not saying that buyers don't notice it and it affects their affordability, but I don't know if it would like kind of throw the flame on the fire or anything, or for the match on the fire. I don't know what I'm saying. I don't know.
Throw wood to the fire.
I want to say that if I'm pricing my house right now,
and
I have 40 other competitors around me, I'm going to look at the radius. Let's say like, we're going to talk about the direct neighborhood. So maybe 2 kilometers, 3 kilometers around my house. I'm going to look at the map and say, okay, this guy's at 800, this one's 775, this one's 779, this one's 790. I honestly think if you want to do a deal, you got to look at those and and this sounds like, it sounds really basic. I mean, it's not always this straightforward, but you should be the cheapest and best option on the block if you want to sell in those buyer market pockets.
Okay.
And that's just it. Everyone's situations are different. Some people are fine to let it ride and see what happens. But if you need to sell, like, doing a 5K price drop every week is just
looks bad.
It looks bad. It's wasting time. You're burning days on market. the person who's watching that come down, if they're seriously interested in your house, they're like, "Ooh, I wonder what they'll come down next week if I just wait it out."
Mm-hmm.
You're giving them more ammunition to wait and see what happens next week.
You don't realize how much that affects it, right? Like in terms of like, especially as agents, you guys see this. It's like, okay, well, clearly there's room for negotiation at that point.
Yeah.
If they keep dropping and
100%.
keep dropping a bit, like, or
They're
how
desperate.
many days
They're
it's on
desperate.
market, it could become desperate, and it could be a negotiation tool at that point. And it's hard
Yeah.
to say it, but it's the reality of it.
The only thing I want to, one of the other big things I want to talk about if I'm selling in this house, if I'm selling a house in this market, is that it's photos, price, flexibility of scheduling, but also like condition of property.
Mm-hmm.
Again, and that could be, I mean, condition doesn't always mean like it needs to be the most renovated house on the block. I'm not saying that, but at least needs to be clean.
That's important.
I'm sorry if I offend anybody. Like everyone's definition of clean is different, but like, have a cleaner go through and clean the baseboards and clean the windows and try to keep it as clean as you can. Like I have a daughter. I know what it's like to have kids at home. It's tough. Like it is difficult to do that, and I'm not discounting that. But you gotta keep it clean, man. You know, and if there's any kind of issues that you're aware of and you're kind of sweeping under the rug, like just disclose it in the listing.
Yeah, because they'll come up eventually, right?
Exactly, right. And you don't want to like get so far in a deal and have it blow up because you used your basement flooded one time and now like the inspector's seeing all this effervescence in the concrete and you didn't tell anybody about it.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't think I needed to tell you about that.
No, it's important because like you said, like it's transparency one, but then it'll come up. So what's the point of getting an offer, getting your hopes up that it's going to go through, and then it die at an inspection just because you didn't disclose it?
And again, you got to remember, like a buyer gets to that point. Yes, they may have spent $600 on an inspection, but if they see something that they even gives them a little bit of a kind of like a shiver, the light goes on in their head. Oh wait, there's 40 other options here.
Yeah.
I don't need to go through with this. I'll just go to the next one.
And the other thing about that too is that like a lot of the times buyers might not necessarily be educated in how serious of a problem or how lack of seriousness an issue could be it in a basement, be it in any other stuff.
100%.
And the moment they just see, and the inspector's role is to make you aware of these things.
Yes.
They don't necessarily tell you don't do this or do this.
They'll never have an opinion on whether you buy it or
exactly.
not. Yeah.
They just tell you how extensive the work could be if you should take it. But they also always say like more information is required or deeper, like thorough search of it all is required. Like if you see some humidity in the basement or in the walls, it could have been some flood, some like in the basement, some crack in foundation, but it could also just be that the AC units or it's just cooler in the basement. It's just creating that humidity and condensation,
especially in certain foundation types like block foundation, that type of thing.
But as a buyer, a lot of the times they might not necessarily be aware of that. Oh, it might just be an easy fix or it might just be something normal. It's just they see that it's a red light and they're like, well, like you said, well, I have 50 other options that I can see.
Abort, bail,
exactly.
And they pull out
and they just go to the next one.
It's you don't have again, as a seller, like you don't have a lot of leverage at that point. If someone comes back to you after inspection and says like, "Hey, we found out about this," like, what are you gonna say? Like, take it or leave it. If you need a sale, like the buyer knows that they have you up against the fence, right?
Yep. Yeah. Especially if the property has been in the market for a while too, and there's many others at the same.
Yeah, and everyone's kind of tolerance for that type of thing changes when you're one signature away from it being sold firm.
Yeah.
Right. So it's a big carrot to dangle in front of people. Like it's challenging. There's a lot of different aspects when you're looking at this type of market and how you sell your property. But hopefully you can take something from these tips. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I missed, but these are the kind of the big ones that come to mind after being on both sides of the coin here.
Yeah. I think we rambled a lot, but like, can you want to go back through them? Make a list of them?
Price, condition, a property needs to look appealing online, and you need to be flexible in your scheduling. I think if you can be, 95% or more on these things, that you're going to attract people. People will find value in it online. They'll come in. If the place looks good when they get there, if everything's been disclosed, they'll feel comfortable moving forward. Then you should be able to put a deal together.
Yeah.
But the hardest part for the sellers is going to be the price. Obviously, they come into terms with what the market's going to warrant for their property is the biggest challenge. Yeah, like I've been on both sides of that too this year. Unfortunately, it is what it is. Like, you know, you shoot for the stars on some stuff, it doesn't work out. But you reassess and try to figure out how you can do it better again in the future.
Yeah. And I also think, like, in a lot of times, like, if you feel that you're in a tight position because of having to sell, it doesn't necessarily mean that you have to sell. Like, you could look at the options of what we discussed last week, which is refinancing and doing these things, right?
Yeah.
So, like, talk to the professionals, book a call with us, do something about it in that way. Don't
absolutely.
just assume that you have to sell because you can't afford it.
For sure. And I mean, sometimes selling is, again, it's even refinancing or selling, you're just holding on to it for longer if you can. It might be better. Like with the potential interest rate drop coming in July, who knows? Like summer and fall will be pretty steady if I can make a prediction on that.
Market shift at the end of it.
It's gonna be wild, man. It's so hard to predict anything.
It's
Like we're kind of like not even we're in like 2 week kind of bubbles here.
We literally go on a week by week, sometimes day by day things.
Yeah.
Like it's an interesting market in that way.
Well, and some stuff I go into, it sells. Like there was a property I went to in Copeland Park 2 weekends ago. It was a beautiful mid-century modern bungalow with a finished basement, great street, backed onto NCC land. I had a lot of the boxes checked. It was listed for 1.125. Sold firm, no inspection, no condition of financing for 1.325. So $200K over asking. Whoa. I was shocked. I honestly was. I was like, I think there was 11 offers by the time the last count came in. We didn't offer on it. My client didn't.
Do you know by any chance the comparables when you were looking at it?
Well, you know, once we had the conversation, like they were very early in the process, so I didn't dive too much into what the comparables would have told me on that. But I think it could be worth it. You know, if you have the cash to front it for a while. Kind of what we talk about. If someone's going to be there for 20 years and they pay a little bit more, like they don't really care.
No, if it's a perfect spot, like a lot of the times people buying those homes they have a good cash flow, a healthy cash flow that like you said, 200K in the long term of things, like that property might as well in 10, 20 years double in price of it. Just we don't know. Like look, Toronto. Like everybody's like so focused inside Toronto City, and then the GTA just got bigger. You go to Markham, you go to all these places, and it's like
all of it. Yeah,
you know?
Massive homes on these tiny lots, but people want that detached life, right?
Yeah.
You know, the townhome and the semi-detached and the detached markets in Toronto have been like keeping that place afloat. It's the condo market that's devastating it. Like, and us, like we don't have that same kind of fallout here. But for the right properties, people will fight for it, man. I see it in a property I booked a showing for Monday afternoon. I booked it right before we started this podcast, and I got an email right away being like, "Hey, we got an offer. We want to come see it. Better be today."
Oh, so you got to change your plans now?
Well, I haven't heard back from the client yet on whether they're actually out of town, so
you might not see it.
We'll see what they want to do. It's like a relocation, so it might be a little bit too rushed for them. We've seen enough, but like that's a different story too. Like I have done that. I bought properties for people and they haven't seen it, but there's a lot of pressure in that.
It's a lot of pressure. I feel it's a lot of pressure because as much as you can do something through a video call, it's not the same as seeing it in person.
100%. It stresses me out. So like, we'll have a chat about it. If they thought it was the perfect house, I'd probably recommend they come to town and see it.
Mm-hmm.
They'll likely come on a house hunting trip the end of July.
Okay.
So it might be a bit too soon. And they, again, like, you get to know people, you understand their risk tolerance, but there's a lot of, what if they come and they hate it?
Plus their preferences too, right?
Yeah.
Like that's the thing.
Yeah.
It's like it's hard to, it's a very hard.
Stressful stuff, man.
Definitely.
It'll be
I
interesting.
would not want to be in your shoes.
Well, again, like it's not the only time that we've on the right properties. If something's appealing for the price in the right neighborhood, it's 1 or 2 days on market, and a lot of the time it's gone.
That's the other thing interesting too, because like when clients are in a certain price point and because of qualification, there's also that pocket that there's not availability of.
Right.
So it's like, so you have two spectrums of in the same exact market. It's like you either are priced out of the higher but then it's like, okay, a bunch of properties, could you knock them down to come to your price point? Like, or it's too low that you can't get up there, you know?
That's an interesting point. Like for the buyer side of things, if someone's pre-approved for 500, but the houses that they really like are 540, like it's not a big gap when you look at the price you're about to spend on something, or the amount you're about to spend on something. But it's obviously difficult to get that qualification up to that point. If something's listed at like 515 and it's overpriced, like we still need to be considering those. Because we could knock those down. But then there's also times when you get the call, it's like, oh, this one's 520. Like, is there any chance to knock it down? And then it's gone the next day because it was priced well. You know what I mean? Like, it's not always the case, but like, so you're thinking outside the box. You got to look at every option. It's like, you know, I have like a lot of buyers that are like really warm right now, wanting to see a lot of stuff. So it's quite challenging that way. Well, I'm very grateful, but it's a lot of like legwork to make sure that you're not exploring options that they're just going to get their hopes let down for.
Yeah, and that's the hard thing too, right? When you're doing those showings, it's like you don't want to show them the nicest house that's out of their budget, because then everything else that they see afterwards in their budget,
never going to compare,
and they're locked into the other one.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, it's interesting. I think, especially in Ottawa, given that like the average income kind of affords people at like 5 to 6, low 6s kind of price point, depending on down payment.
Yeah.
Like that price point for townhomes specifically
is what's selling the most right now.
If it's in the core, man, it moves quick. I gotta say, if it's in good condition on a decent street, like you'll get it gone.
Yeah.
Whereas if like you can afford the same townhome in Barrhaven or Orleans, like people don't really want to be out there right now.
I think Central, it's very important.
100%. I think more and more people are getting called back to work for even more and more time now. So that commute is just awful. I learned something interesting this week, actually. Chatting with the home inspector, and we were chatting about traffic. I think he lives like in Canada or Stittsville, and the inspection was Vanier. And it was just like, I don't know how we got on the topic, but it was that car crash that happened this week. Past, where it like held up the entire city for like the commute. I don't know if you dealt with that, but it took me like 2 hours to get from Britannia to Luis's work to Sophie's daycare and home.
Okay.
2 hours, man.
Oh wow.
Because it was obviously like It was a car wreck on the
you could have gone
to
to
the 417 by Pretoria Loblaws that screwed everything up.
Oh, I did not.
And it just like ripple affected out. Anyway, the inspector, I was like, man, how is it like, I've been here this long. I like Ottawa. Like, it's a great city, but like, what the hell were they thinking only building one highway? Like, how is this a thing? Like, it's only going to get bigger and it's only going to get worse.
It's the capital.
And he was like,
too, right?
funny enough, you say that. He's like, Hunt Club was supposed to be like a bypass highway.
Like Hunt Club, like
Yeah.
the stretch of it, really?
Yeah. So almost like in Toronto, you have the 401 that goes very close to the lake. If you look at the 407, sits kind of above that. Now that was a toll highway. They ended up selling it. Like, it was probably one of the most stupid things that the government ever did there. But for Hunt Club, it would have been acted like the same kind of thing. Like, you take the bypass up, and then when you want to take your artery down, you go. But instead, you have everybody funneled into the 417, which makes congestion just a nightmare, right? Because there's no other way to get from east to west. You're not
And the thing with that too is, like, let's say Hunt Club. That's actually interesting because I never knew that.
Yeah.
But what I feel is different, let's say from the 407 to Hunt Club, at least I don't live in Toronto, so I don't know as much to an extent. But Hunt Club has houses right there. So the speed that you're going with, maximum,
is 60,
80,
I think, on that.
60,
Is it
80?
80? Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
there's 80 stretches
There's
on there. Yeah,
stretches
you're
of
right.
80.
Yeah.
But, like, it can get congested even
Well, there's a lot
in
of lights,
certain
right?
locations, and there's a lot of lights. Like, let's say Hunt Club on Riverside South is congested 3 o'clock in the afternoon, 4 o'clock
100%.
it's congested the whole way. But it's because it's only a few lanes too.
Exactly.
There's a lot of turning.
But had there been 4 lanes, let's say, so like let's say even 6 lanes, like 3 and 3 or something like that, that would have been a great little, like, hey, if the 417 is blocked, then you take this way. You have other alternative routes to ease some of the congestion. I thought it was fascinating, but apparently like something happened. They're waiting for approval, and the NCC pulled a bunch of land that they were supposed to give to the city to do this. It never, ever happened.
Oh, well, that's unfortunate. That would have helped. I also think that whoever the city planning, and I'm not in that role, so I can't judge, but I don't think that I would have started the construction project of the middle of the highway if the sides of the highway weren't finalized yet.
I know, man. It's so crazy.
That's my logic,
And
but I don't know if there was any association of why they had to be done now.
I'm telling you right now that you're absolutely right, and I am on the 470 every day because our office is right on Bronson. So I'm jumping on that every day, and both ways, every bloody day, man. Every day, no matter what time of day it is. It's like it's so infuriating.
Sunday, you know that.
Pardon me?
Even on a Sunday, I've gone through it.
Yeah,
and it's gone through a Sunday too.
It makes it like I'm like when I plan routes for showings, like I avoid it with like the plague unless I absolutely have to take it because it's like it's gonna screw my timing up for everything.
And not just yours, your client's timing too of it, and you're like trying to see the other ones, and it's like then we go back to the ripple effect of like the sellers. Then it's like, oh, they need more time and this and that in the showings, and it just kind of becomes. And
then we can't make it. We're 10 minutes late, so we got to do a 15-minute showing now because we didn't get there. But it goes to show, like again, it's not by coincidence that these pockets that are truly buyers markets, with the exception of the condo market downtown, are buyers markets, because I think there really is another influx of people that want to live back in the core, back in like kind of within the old Ottawa.
Old Ottawa East, Old Ottawa South.
No, I was going to say the old Ottawa kind of city limits. Okay. Like they don't want to skip out past to the suburbs. Mm-hmm. Because the traffic is going to get substantially worse, and people are planning for that. Lifestyles changed. Pandemic is over. Like people don't want it anymore, and I think it's going to be interesting. I read something that's on the City of Ottawa's website. Actually, I was going to do like a social media post about it because I thought it was fascinating. So there's like a study that was like what's the population growth going to be like in Ottawa over the next? I think it was 2018 to 2040.
Okay.
So that's it's a 22-year gap. How much is it going to grow? So the population of Ottawa is currently about 1.15 million, give or take.
1.1.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And I don't think that includes Gatineau. I don't. If it is, it's only about another like 500,000 or 600,000 on that side. Okay. I think maybe it's more now, but they're planning on the city of Ottawa. The population will grow by 2040 to over 1.4 million.
Whoa. That's a lot of.
It's a lot of people, man, and that's like less than 15 years.
So I don't know if we have the infrastructure for that. Just gonna say that out. Prediction from now to 2040.
Yeah, that's 100,000 people every 5 years, so 20,000 a year. It's gonna be interesting. Infrastructure for sure. Roofs, man. Where are they gonna house all these people? Yeah. I think if it's me and I'm looking at a long-term real estate plan, I'm gonna tie it all back here. If I'm looking at a long-term real estate plan, I want a desirable property. Go back to that one that had multiple offers that they paid 1.3 for. In 15 years' time, they're not going to make any more NCC land that they're backing onto. They're not going to make any more mid-century modern houses on a nice quiet street in Copeland Park.
There's still limitations.
That house is going to be worth substantially more in 15 years from now based on population growth alone. Yeah. We cannot build houses fast enough that people want. We can build like modular homes or one-bedroom apartments till our noses bleed and our heads explode, but people don't want it. Yeah. And unless we can come to terms with this new kind of outlook on what housing looks like physical housing looks like, detached homes, semi-detached homes, townhomes, whatever it is, the freehold stuff, and some of the condo stuff as well, will always be up and up and up and up, and it'll be because it just that's it, man. There's no more land inside the city.
Yeah, it's very limited, right, at that point. Yeah. And it's like you're just at suburbs and pockets everywhere around the city. Yep. But, yeah, it's hard. I guess we'll have to wait and see. But, yeah, it'll be difficult.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting, man, because we talked about it last week about high-density stuff on transit lines and that type of thing. Like, this is, if we're talking 1.4 million or more by 2040, man, like, buy all the property you can. And then refinance it in 15 years from now, and then call us and say thank you. Yeah. No, seriously, man.
No, you're not wrong.
So
you're
cliche,
not wrong.
And it sounds so aggressive, and a realtor telling you to buy. But real estate is a long game. Yeah. And if you can get in and you can ride this out for the next 15, 20 years while you're paying down your mortgage at the same time, man, like that will be how we look at the boomers now. We look at our parents and say, "Hey, you guys had it so easy. You bought your house for $88,000." In 15 years from now, our kids will say, "Hey, you bought your house for $500,000 and now it's worth 1.5." Like, what the hell?
Yeah. And it can be like, we don't want to be like admit that could happen. And a lot of times they're like, oh, they just keep seeing the baby boomers of what happened. And it's like, you got to understand, like, it can come to that point too. Like,
Yes.
we have a perfect example in Vancouver, a perfect example in Toronto of it. Like,
Yeah.
the prices just skyrocketed just because
100%,
of the,
man.
like you said, there was not enough in the core. And then that's, people want to be in the core
People
because
wanna be
what's groceries, jobs, things to do, all that stuff is
Quality
mainly
of
in the
life
core.
is better,
Exactly.
man. If you work and live and are
If-
okay with that, right?
Exactly.
No.
If it relates to what you want at that point.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but
Oh,
we
I mean,
rambled a lot.
That's I know I like rambling. We're rambling. I think we're on the money.
No,
there.
no. But we, I'm actually happy that you were about to vent on the whole traffic stuff. So I'm happy that we shifted that.
Yeah, that was probably the best part there. I hope you guys stuck around to listen to it.
Well-
That being said, we'll wrap it up here. Thanks, guys, for listening. If you made it this far, the numbers are ticking up, man. I know people are listening. I saw some of the analytics from our Spotify account last week. There was one listener from Jamaica.
Oh,
So hey, man, shout out to you.
yeah,
Jamaica. Yeah, crazy.
That's very
man.
good.
A couple in the
Hey.
U.S. and then obviously majority in Canada. So, yeah, if you're in Jamaica, if you're in the U.S., you're in Canada, thank you for listening. Drop us a comment. Give us a share. If you want actual practical tailored advice, you can just book a call with either of us in the calendar links below. Let us know what you want us to talk about. We should show up here and be like, what are we going to talk about today? Like, the most unprepared podcast on the internet right now. So if you have any specific questions, we can talk about it. That being said, we'll see you next week.
Have a great weekend. Happy
Ciao.
Canada Day.
Happy Canada Day.
Ciao.